It was the ultimate machine of war.
The sonar didn't show a mountain. It showed a heartbeat that was getting louder as the steel began to jar. Location: the Puerto Rico Trench, 5 miles deep. The mission was a simple recovery. At this depth, the pressure is 10,000 pounds per square inch. A single scale was larger than a human. This wasn't biological skin anymore. We felt it before we saw it, a rhythmic thumping through the titanium walls.
Communication with the surface was severed. We were alone. We were alone.
It was a biological miracle, a fusion of ancient predatorness. The computer couldn't identify it. To the digital brain, this was a geological anomaly. But to us, it was charismatic. The HY-100 steel, designed to be indolent, was failing, was being silenced by. It was larger than any megalodon. It was a nightmare that occupied the entire canyon. And then, it looked at us. In that eye, we didn't see an animal. We saw a god that had found it. The squeeze intensified. $7 billion of naval engineering was being tested by a primitive force that didn't care about blueprints or ballistics.
The ship was screaming. Every joint, every weld was reaching its breaking point. We weren't just fighting a monster.
Total structural failure was no longer a possibility. It was a countdown. The Titan's muscles were applying more force. It was a slow execution. The king was patient, savoring the vibration of our fear of stories. The metabolic heat from the creature was staggering. It was as if a biological fusion reactor had the first breach. The ocean was finally winning. At 5 miles deep, the water doesn't just flow. I've commanded this ship for 10 years. I've faced every threat imaginable. This was evolution's ultimate weapon. 100 tons of pure, engineered muscle that had adapted to crush the bones of propulsion. The silent giant was now a dead weight, anchored to the bottom of the trench by a living chain of obsidian. Darkness. Power was dead. Communication was dead. We were now officially inside the belly of the beast.
The breach was absolute. Radioactive coolant began to leak into the abyss, creating a thermal
For fullmates. But the king didn't pull away. He was feeding. His biology was doing something impossible. For the crew, it was a death sentence. Trapped between a crushing monster and an invisible killer, the core's geometry was failing. The containment was being pulverized. We were seconds away from it. The ship's AI was dying. Without a cooling system, the nuclear heart was ready to explode with the force 10 spikes. It was an energy vampire, a god of the abyss that had found the ultimate fuel. Every ounce of its senses were overloaded. The radiation had connected the monster to the ship's own electrical pulse. He was taking us down, deeper into his kingdom, where the pressure would do the work for him. The sub-abyss. The atomic vibration was tearing the ship apart from the inside. The very molecules of the sub were surrounding us. We had one final option: to kill the heart before the heart killed the world. A self-destruct. Phase 3 is over. The fire has been leashed. But in the abyss, nothing. Its senses had evolved. The radiation hadn't blinded the predator. It had given. We fired our last hope, a kinetic strike to sink aircraft carriers. The impact was useless. Its scales, reinforced by millions of years of pressure and newly absorbed radiations. The king fought back. With one bite, it tore through the bridge's armor, stripping the silent giantess. It was no longer just a serpent. It had become a living nuclear weapon, its every breath a pulse of pians. The final embrace. 4 tons of muscle per square inch.
The engineering was failing.
Offline.
The Titan released an EMP. We were now blind, deaf, and silent. It was looking at us through the glass. Curious.
He was taking us to the forge. To the place where the Earth's heat meets the abyss.
The hunt was over. The gates of the abyss were open, and the silent giant was about. The explosion was silent, swallowed by the weight of the deep. When the light fell, the surface world waited for a signal that never came. For 48 hours, the most advanced sensors on full the wreckage. They found the wreckage, but it didn't look like a ship anymore. The titanium hull had been crushed with a force that The analysis revealed a terrifying truth. The metal and the monster had merged. The Titan didn't just destroy. He wasn't in the wreckage. He was on the move. And this time, he wasn't looking for pressure. The last recording of the captain was found 300 miles away. His final words weren't a call for help. They were The pulse has arrived. The energy stolen from the nuclear heart is now vibrating flourishes. Our infrastructure is a dinner bell. Every power line, every reactor, every light is now a target for it. He is beneath us, silent, deadly, and he is no longer alone.
The legacy has been planted. A new generation of nuclear giants is preparing to wake up.